Hi, welcome back to me. Now, I was just recording a while back and I was talking about the different culture in Philippines. I just gave an example of what has been passed down from our ancestors down to modern Filipino society. And we have this term crab mentality, and I think you may or may not have heard about it, but if in case you may have heard about it, you are probably familiar. It's either you're Filipino or you know someone who mentioned it to you, or you're probably married to a Filipino, married to a Filipina. The main objective of that discussion is there was an instance when I was having a chat with my wife. We were talking about how far we have gone in improving our mental state, emotions, the way we look at things, how far we have improved. We're not perfect. It's always going to be our different learning stages as we move on to the next phase or to succeeding phases of our lives. And we were looking at the best terminology, a similar terminology to crab mentality. In Philippines, crab mentality is when you see someone being successful, you pull them down to fail. So that's crab mentality. Now, I was challenging her. I was asking her, like, is there a somewhat similar terminology or word or words that we can relate to crab mentality? And then she said she's not aware of any similar words. I mentioned to her that I know a word or a terminology that might be somewhat similar to crab mentality but has a different meaning, but somewhat cousins. Now, the terminology that I was referring to is Schadenfreude. So Schadenfreude means the joy of seeing someone fail. The only difference that I've noticed or that I'm seeing there is crab mentality is here's someone starting to be successful. You pull down that person so that either they don't succeed at all or they totally fail. So that's crab mentality. Schadenfreude is you're happy if someone fails. So that's the most nearest terminology that I can relate to crab mentality. Schadenfreude, crab mentality. They're kind of like the same but not the same, so they are cousins. Sometimes, even if we are trying not to be happy that someone failed, sometimes because of the different values and different behaviors that has been passed down from our ancestors who used to acting like shit. So we adapt to those behaviors, and sometimes even if you are not like that, I was telling her that sometimes if you hear someone fail, sometimes even if you are not showing or you didn't even intentionally pull that person down, sometimes subconsciously you feel some happiness around it. I don't know how to explain it properly, but that's somewhat how I explain it to my wife, that even if you're trying to make sure that you are not making fun of anyone who's failing, subconsciously you don't want that person to be above your level. Does that make sense? So that's the explanation I was giving her, and we were just doing kind of like an annual recap of our lives, and it's been such a journey for us. We are looking back and we've seen how far we've gone from how we manage our state, how we see the world, and how we share the experience with our kids. And I was also so proud at that point when we were talking about that Schadenfreude crab mentality, that I'm hoping that we are the last generation, or I am the last generation who will experience that crab mentality values, because one of the main reasons why we moved out of the Philippines because of that values as well, because you're exposed to different environments and there's a higher chance that you will inherit that values. Even if I have great parents and my parents were amazing, and even if I didn't get that, or I didn't learn about it from them. There will be instances, or there were instances in my life that I was in a totally different environment, different information, feedback from the environment, and you absorb those feedback and somewhat becomes your values, and crab mentality is one of those. Looking back, I started to feel, how am I going to express it? I feel lighter deep inside, because I am no longer carrying that burden of stress. Life stress in Philippines is different. I think that's it for now. I just want to share that terminology that I've learned. I've learned that maybe a couple of years ago, and I just wanted to share it, so at least I can reabsorb the definition and be aware about it from time to time, and be conscious about it, about my surroundings, about the people around me, that we all have different experiences and we all have different values and different way of seeing the world. We just need to, respect each other, one another, and make sure not to do any Schadenfreude activities. I don't know how to express it, but this is what it is. Lack of a better term, Schadenfreude task. It's not a task. Schadenfreude behavior might be a better term. And just hope for positive success of others. Right. That's it. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again